Welcome to Living Magically. I'm your host, Michelle Orwick, and this week we have quite a bit of reverse energy. And by that, I do mean there's 4 full planets in retrograde and another one on the way. So let's talk about this. So one of the things that we have when we are actually thinking about the idea of living magically, I want to just explain what I mean by living magically is living intentionally and looking for the synchronicity, looking for the gift in everything. And when we hear about planets in retrograde, all of a sudden everybody starts getting kinetic and frantic and concerned that that is a bad thing. And I actually want to encourage you to look at this opportunity with all of these planets in retrograde as a gift. And so right now we have the biggest gift, which is just happened on the 26th. We had Chiron going retrograde in Aries, and it's such a powerful, potent retrograde. It goes all the way to the end of December. And so this is a review. It's a life review. It is a deep emotional review of what are your wounds. And they could be new wounds, or they could be lifelong wounds, or they could even be soul wounds or family wounds. So this is a big opportunity for you to leave circumstances, review situations, and even people that are not going to bring you to the life you are looking to lead. And to do that, there's a courage being asked. And because of that, we also have Saturn in Pisces in retrograde. We have Pluto in Aquarius in retrograde. We have Neptune in Pisces in retrograde. And in just literally a week from now, we will have a retrograded Mercury on the 4th or 5th, depending on your time zone. So that actually means it's in shadow as we speak, in the shadow. So we are reviewing our relationship with ourself, and we're in the dark moon. So we have a new moon to look forward to. In fact, it's an amazing new moon, and it lines up with this. We just had the galactic new year, and we're in that Lionsgate portal now, and there's a lot of really beautiful sweet spot energy. We're in Leo, the sun is in Leo, and we'll have that new moon in Leo come the 4th on Sunday. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But in between now and Sunday, what are we looking at? We're looking at these 4 planets in retrograde and the shadow of Mercury giving us an opportunity to cleanse, clear, remove, and get really clear. To live a magical life, you have to stop doing the things that are not magical, that are putting you down. This means if there are habits that you are not meaning to do and you don't even know why you do them, you're just used to them, or it's easier sometimes to do it, or even worse, it's easier to not do the good habits. So we're looking at habits that are ready to go, that are not serving us, and habits that are good coming in to build a better future. And that's going to be here for 5 months. It's going to be here that we're looking at a personal identity. It's kind of like a tower moment. And it's interesting because that was the oracle card that I pulled today. I think that we're at a tower moment where we cannot have the same systems. We cannot have the same people in our lives. We cannot have the same experience if we want a new one. And that means if you love your life and there's nothing wrong with it, don't change anything. But if there is anything you are wanting to claim right now, it's good to do that with this new moon, because we've hit that galactic new year and we're in a portal really that's leading up to the 8-8, which will be a little over a week from now, but we're in the 8-8 portal. And this year it's an 8-8-8 portal. So if this is something that you're feeling and you're like, I don't know where I'm going, it's okay to not know where you're going right now. What I do want you to do is identify what you don't want. And I know that seems a little backwards. A lot of times we are looking at what we do want. But this many planets in retrograde and the dark of the moon says we are looking at what is not good for us. What am I doing that is out of habit or out of obligation or out of alignment in some way to where we're going? So this is literally, this week is a review period. And next week, when we start into Sunday and Monday, we will have this new moon in Leo, and it will be the first part of the more deepening of the Lion's Gate, which will be on the 8th. And we'll talk more about that next week, but preparing for and even creating a list of new habits or things you want to start on this Leo moon is a really great plan. So if there's some kind of really amazing choice that you're making, make it next Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and anchor it into your nervous system, anchor it into your habits. And remember, 21 days make a habit, 90 days makes it really good, 100 days makes it almost inevitable for you. So if you can just keep something going through the rest of this year that you might start now, you're going to use that Leo fixed energy, because Leo's a fixed sign. Even though it's a fire sign, it is all about creating. It's a very creative energy. So what are you creating in your life? And who are you becoming? And who are you going to be? And what are you bringing in? And start this week with that elimination, or start the thought of, what is it I am coming up with? What am I doing? What am I not doing? And that becomes a power move. So get really aligned to the version of you that is your desire. And a lot of people are like asking me recently, they're like, well, I wish. And I had this like really big conversation with someone, and I said, well, don't wish, intend, decide, create, choose, because it's not that wishing is bad. Wishing is good if it is hopeful. But if it is hopeful with doubt, that's where wishing is bad, because a lot of times we say, I wish, like that place where we're like, but it'll never happen. What I really want you to do is, when you choose something, you go out and you do it, and you take the action steps. So if you choose to get fit, you take the action steps of joining a gym and looking at your calorie content or whatever it is you need to do. You hire a trainer. So those are action steps that are aligned with, I want to get fit. I choose to get fit, and I intend to get fit, and I'm taking action on this soul level desire. Not going, I wish I would get fit, and now I'm going to sit on the couch and just ignore my world. So you are being asked to look at your soul level desire, your dream, and look at what you're doing that is counterintuitive to that, or is not supporting that, and eliminate those things and those people, because you're gonna see a lot of people rearranging, and they may come back later, right? If they're good for you and you're just maybe not in this moment aligned with the next destination, you might see some people get off the train and meet you later in your life, or just rearrange how we're working together. So right now you're looking to see who is on the same track, who has the same goals as me right now, and how can we feed each other how can we lift each other up? Again, it doesn't mean that these people that are not aligned with you right now can't come back around later. But I would be giving all of my attention right now to people who are on the same path currently with the same short-term outcome. And I do mean short-term, 5 months to a year, maybe even 18 months. This is the energy you're setting up, is the next 18 months. So this is going to be one petal of the Venus heliarchal rose. It's 18 months, and we're in it right now as that Venus is shifting, as we're seeing a new opportunity, and it's going to anchor things that will bring in 20, 30 year results, but you've got to put in the energy now for the long run. What are you doing now that's to support your 10-year and 20-year dreams? It's important to put those into place right now for these next few months. What is part of that past version of you? It can go, and what is going to support this future version of you? That's the astrology. And the new moon is going to be an absolutely energy lifting day, but you might feel it have a little bit of a lag because of all of these retrogrades and Mercury going into retrograde the next day. So you might have these intentions and not quite be able to do the thing. So it's easier to be letting go of things that are not for you right now than the actual doing of the things that are good for you. It might take you another month to get going, but try and have a plan. Use this energy for planning and putting things on calendars and creating structure versus the doing. And if you need a little bit more help on that, I am always available to have a session. We can do an Akashic record session, or I do have a few oil temple sessions available. We have an in-person oil temple happening on the 888 in Central Florida at the Center Street, A Place for the Heart. And then I will be making an announcement tomorrow. The Bloom Temple will be having an online opportunity for you to have an 888 activation. So we'll be putting that information out. If it's something you're like, I don't live in Orlando and I really want to activate all of these new coding on this really potent experience, which is the 888. It's this year's energy. It's an infinite abundance energy. It's the 888. And we only have one of these portals per year where we have the year code activated by the month code. And 88 is always in alignment with Sirius. It is always an alignment with this galactic energy. So it is accelerated this year in a way that people all over the planet will be working with. So if you want to be supported in that, please let me know. And like I said, we have 3 ways you can do that. You can get a one-on-one oils treatment with me in person. You can do an online oils temple, or there's just a few places left for the in-person oils experience on the evening of 888. I suppose there's one other way, is if you wanted an Akashic record session with me, you can do that from a distance as well. So I don't have that as an offering out on my website, but you could send me a private message if you're like, I don't know what to focus on. I'm happy to help you do that. In the meantime, cleanse, clear, remove, and get super clear, and do the activation of that thought process on 8/4. It will really start solidifying that Lionsgate energy, that new moon in Leo. So it's going to be a week of really looking deep and maybe there's some emotion around that. Let yourself feel whatever you feel. Let yourself express yourself in a way that's loving and gentle and kind to yourself. Try not to be too abrupt with other people. You might regret that. Don't make big changes that you can't undo for at least another week or two, maybe a month. You might just think about them and plan for them. Don't make anything so permanent you can't change it later. So this is, while you might be planning some of these things, if you're exiting out of something, like I wouldn't quit my job right now. I wouldn't leave a marriage right now, but I would think about whether I wanted to let those things go and look for the universe, look for signs to get really crystal clear clarity. And I think that if you set the intention for crystal clear clarity in any area of your life over the next coming week, it will become super apparent in the next month to 4 months. All right, I wish you a magical week, and don't forget to live magically.